Hi guys, welcome to my Hearts of Iron 4 tutorial. Hearts of Iron 4 is a World War II grand strategy game and involves a lot of grinding. So, well, here you go. Here's a nice little tutorial. I'm gonna make it basic because whenever I watch a tutorial, I want it to die. So I'm just gonna make it as basic as possible. And for beginners, you should not play the German Reich. No, it's not a very good starting nation. Actually, the best starting nation would either be the UK or Italy. Not Germany. You're going to need some experience with tanks first to know to play Germany. But, yeah. So, we're just going to first go through the tabs. And then I'll show you on some tips and tricks how to not get beat up by Russians. So, actually, no, I gotta show you up here first. So this is your political power. This is essentially your, well, it's like points. It's points to do something with your government. So you get like a decent amount per day. I mean, it goes down. Like if you do a national focus, that's 1 minus. So if I did a focus just now, I'd only have 1 point plus 1.43 a day. But you know, you can actually boost your political power gain by stability or having a dictator as your leader. But there's other ways, like hiring dudes in the government, like this guy, silent workhorses. These guys will boost your political power. Now all this, oh by the way, yeah, 150, that's how much it usually costs, but it can be lower if you have something in your government that changes it, like one of these national spirits, which are just boosts or debuffs, not debuffs, debuffs on your nation. So for example, this that's trash. This gives me division organization and planning speed, which is kind of how it sounds like. Anyway, next is stability, which is kind of what it sounds like. You just try to make this as high as possible. Okay, you see that green? That green means something, you're getting something good. And that yellow, I'll tell you about it later. War support is exactly what it sounds like, and if you don't have war support, then you'll be not too much in the dumps, but there are some debuffs with having low war support. Next is manpower, which represents the amount of people that you can put in your army. And this depends on your population. Like if you can see, I have 65 million population, but as Germany you get around 80 million later on. But for now we just have 60 million. And there's a specific amount of manpower you can get at once. As you can see, I have limited conscription, which is 2.50%. You can increase that by going over here and increasing it by using political power. But if you go too far, you do get some major debuffs. But I suggest sticking to limited conscription or extensive. And there's also other ways to get more manpower through focuses and land doctrine, which I'll show you later. So next is factories, which it's also what it sounds like. Which, this is not really that important. It just tells you how much factories you have. Fuel is definitely what it sounds like. It is the amount of fuel that your army can use. So as you can see, army, air, navy, maximum consumption, which, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of fuel, especially Germany. There's ways to get more fuel, but we'll talk about that later. Next is, this is something new, logistics fulfillment, which is, okay, this is quite complicated. So, this is your supply, tab. Listen, it looks complicated, but understand that the bluer, lighter it is, the better. And the darker, more reddish it gets, the bad. And these are railways, which transport stuff. And these are supply hubs. Don't touch these. Unless if you can also shift click to use trucks instead of forces. And if you use trucks, they increase your range, but you actually have to make trucks. As you can see, I currently only have 2. Next is convoys, which is just like, well, use it to transfer supplies, resources, and sometimes troops. I suggest only having about 400, and then you don't really need more. I don't know what you're doing if you need more than 400 convoys. Unless if you are trying to annex a puppet, which I'll still show you later. This right here is your command power, which is kind of like political power, but for your army. It can be used for assigning people into your army command, which these don't really do much. They just give you boosts and more army experience, which is what we're going to talk about now. Army experience is exactly what it sounds like. You get this from army exercises, or those officers I was just talking about, or national focuses, and you need these to create and modify your division templates, and you also need these nowadays to get a land doctrine, which is very important. Next, Navy and Air XP are exactly the same as Army XP, so there's no real difference. And this up here is just the speed thingy, showing you how fast the game is going. I'm currently having it on pause. You can press space to unpause it or pause it. And this is the globe, which is just showing you the world tension. The world tension is how much the world is going to go to flames. So if it's on 0%, it means the world is kind of neutral right now. Nothing's really going on. But the higher it goes, the more, like, you know, other countries can fight other countries. Because right now, if you're like a democratic nation, you can't fight. You can't justify war on anybody yet until that world tension goes higher. And the way it goes higher is by doing stuff that makes it go higher. Like, for example, is the Germany, you can demand Austria, and that just makes it go higher. Or you can declare war, make it go a lot higher. But yeah, this is just the music thing, which toggles music or something like that. This is an overview of your army, and oh my goodness, ignore all these. These are not, you don't need to worry about these yet. Those are for advanced tutorials. This shows you the types of divisions in your army and how much there are. Don't worry about battalions yet, and this is just showing you your entire army. Navy is the same thing, but it shows you your entire navy and your amount of fleets. And Air Force is exactly the same thing. So, yeah, I think that's the top. This down here is just showing you different modes you can see things. Usually, just stay on default, which is just, you know, you can see your troops, and everything looks normal. Navy will show you your navy. These are your navies down here. You can go over here, assign some guy to command a fleet. Select all, we'll just select these, and this is to merge them together, which I usually do. And I assign some guy, we'll assign this guy. Usually, to have a good navy, just keep something like this, and just leave a separate navy for patrolling, like just a couple submarines. Now your Air Force is, well, exactly what it looks like. You take your Air Force and first you gotta click it. And then here's your little different missions you can pick, like fighters. These things can shoot down airplanes. Close air support shoots down enemy army thingies. Interception, which stops other enemy planes from blowing up your stuff. Strategic bombing, which blows up your stuff. This is just something for strategic bombing. You don't need to worry about it. But yeah, this is pilot exercises, gives you air XP, but also sometimes blows up your planes and uses up all your fuel. Naval strike, which just blows up enemy ships. Kamikaze strike, which also blows up enemy ships, but you lose all your planes, but they also blow up the enemy ships more. Next is port strikes, which bombs enemy fleets and ports, which is actually really overpowered. So a port is exactly like it's these little things right here. This is where navies go, and when you bomb these, they do some critical damage. Logistic strikes is blowing up trains and trucks, which really hurt the enemy supply. Next is air supply, which is kind of trash. Don't do this. Naval mine laying, which drops naval mines in a place, and naval mine sweeping, which is exactly what it sounds like. And air recon, which scouts areas, which is not really that great, and you don't need to worry about these. Now this is your plane thingies. I mean, you could select these, and that's about it. But you're gonna select a couple missions, and then you're gonna want to right-click on a place you want to put, like right over here, and to put over some missions, and they'll do your job when you're at war. Oh yeah, to the tabs. Decisions. So decisions is what it sounds like. You get to pick things. So this just you know. So if you have decisions available, it'll give you some stupid, annoying thing, but you can right-click to take it away. But you usually shouldn't, because some decisions are important. This green bubble takes it away. Naval bills are kind of trash. Don't do this. War propaganda increases your war support, but the world tension has to be high. So yeah. Political actions is not actually that political. This increases your stability, but decreases your factory output. Factory output we'll talk about later. This decreases your war support, but increases your stability. And this is a whole bunch of political stuff you can do. Next is your intelligence agency, which is kind of complicated, but it's not that complicated. You create an agency. Don't sometimes, but when you have 5 civilian factories, you can make an agency and you can do stuff. Agents. But agents are really hard to get, so. Next is research, which is very important. This is kind of, you don't need to worry about this yet. Research speed, which increases your research speed. This is extremely important, and I'll give you some advice on what to research. So oh yeah, I gotta show you. So this is infantry equipment, which, I gotta give you a look around. This is, stuff to boost your, attack damage and defense. This is types of guns, which they're more expensive and cost more, but they're better. Night vision increases night attack. This stuff blows up tanks with infantry. And trucks carry supplies or just infantry in general. Armored cars are trash, don't use them. Mechanized is not trash though. This thing is amazing. But you're not allowed to research it yet because you gotta wait 4 years to actually do it because it's way too advanced for your current time. These are just ways to unlock special types of troops. Marines are good for naval invasions. Paratroopers are good for going behind enemy lines, like literally. Mountaineers are good for, well, exactly what they sound like, and this just boosts your special troop guys down here. Support companies, not really that important, but still are. Engineering company helps you with your defense. This helps you with recon and actually, I don't even know. Military police helps you with garrison, because you need to garrison all the places that are resisting against you when you take places over. A maintenance company helps your reliability on your stuff. So if your tanks are trash and they don't have enough reliability, they'll break down, and this will help it to not break down. A field hospital prevents when people die in war. This prevents too many from dying. Logistics company decreases the amount of supply your troops use, so you don't have crazy supply issues. And signal company is trash, don't use it. Trains carry supplies, which they're important, so, I mean, you don't even need to research trains, not really. This isn't a train, this is a railway gun, which is something way different, but you don't have to worry about it yet. Tanks, so you don't actually get to research tanks anymore, you have to research, these things called chassis to modify your tank later. Just do, a little bit, these aren't really that important. Artillery, the research, regular artillery, a boost, better artillery, anti-air, anti-tank, and then rocket artillery, and that's about it. Navy is very complicated, but just focused on, let's see, these are ship modules, which allow you to actually create ships, and these are just things you put on the ship, which you actually have to research these to put on the ship, where the ship is trash. Oh, I gotta show you around on it. These are just boosts to your attack. These are kind of useless. This is good, but the rest of these are kind of useless. And these are kind of useless, but get this later on. Air, which is only just air plane type, so it's not that important. Engineering is important, because here's where you can find nukes, which no, don't research these yet. And things that increase your research speed, and radios, which are kind of trash, but just get those. Industry is the most important. So production efficiency cap, I'll tell you about that later. Just research all of these, but don't go for excavation. And when you pick between concentrated industry and dispersed, go for concentrated if you know you're not going to get bombed by the enemy. But if you're like playing as Germany, you should go dispersed, because you're going to get bombed to the next universe. Don't do these. Don't do these at all. If you don't, those are too complicated. So for your first research slot, you're going to want to do this, which boosts your research speed. Then you're going to want to do basic machine tools. And then, since you're Germany, you're going to want to research it to take, so get that. And then get this, which boosts artillery, and you get a couple type turrets for your tank, but that's kind of complicated. Diplomacy is useless, don't use it. And trade is pretty useful. Okay, so here's all your resources. These are just the amount of something you have, and if you don't have enough resources, then you won't be able to make any guns or anything. You can trade by just looking at one of these nations. Boom. You can press this to select the amount you need. You can buy any, but the amount you need is right here. But they also cause civilian factories, so yeesh. Now construction. So construction is, yep, it's actually what it sounds like. I'll show you around. So your consumer goods are, you know, how much of your civilian factories go into consumer goods, which means you can't actually use those factories that are going into consumer goods. And traded goods are just the civilian factories you use for trading. And let me show you what, oh yeah, construction speed is very important. It does exactly what it sounds like. So infrastructure used to be good until it's now, I mean, it boosts supply and resources, but it's kind of bad now. Don't build these. Air bases are, you know, the amount of capacity your planes can hold. Don't really build this unless if you need a lot of planes. Anti-air is exactly what it sounds like. And radar station is terrible. Do not build any of this. Now, military factories, you're going to want to build, is Germany, you're going to want to build into 1938 or 1937. I generally just start building them right away, but you don't need to. But yeah, these are exactly the military factories you put into all this equipment later, but we're just on here for now. The civilian factories are, yep, that's how much, see, look. This is how much civilian factories you can use at a time to build stuff. Yeah, you might want to build civilian factories just so you can have more civilian factories and build stuff faster later on. Dockyards are just military factories, but for ships, so kind of important, but not really. A synthetic refinery, it makes rubber for you and fuel, so it's kind of important. It's Germany, but other nations don't. Please don't. Fuel silo just increases your fuel capacity because you have a limited amount. Rocket site, which these you don't need to worry about these. And converting, which means you convert military factories or to civilian factories. Please don't convert. Please don't. Our next is supply hub, which is just these things, which are like hubs of supply. Don't build those. There are railways, which carry supply. Don't build those. There's the naval bases, which are just ports. Don't build those. Forts, which are just used to the kind of what they sound like. And coastal forts are exactly what they sound like. And on to production. So, here's just your resources again. And here is, so factory and dockyard output show you how much, like a % increase of how much you can make. Production efficiency cap is the exact value you can make. So it would be 50%, which is this is the maximum amount of guns you can make. Production efficiency or retention, don't worry about that. Don't worry about this either. Don't worry about that. So these are the different types of equipment you can make. This is not a type of equipment. This is just your repair equipment for ships. Don't worry about that. First off, if you see any useless ships that no dockyards are going into, delete them. Actually, delete everything. Just don't even. As Germany, don't even focus on your navy. But as other nations, yes, build their navy up. All right, so yep, it's pretty simple. You just don't worry about these up here. You just watch here. I have just a bunch of these. Watch, boom, naval bomber, move up, left clicking. There you go. And here's my. This is pretty much my exact loadout. You're gonna want that train, them trucks, and a couple tanks. Personally, as Germany, I would go medium tanks, but if you're into those light tanks, sure. But you're gonna need a lot of tanks. And this just symbolizes how much military factories you have in one equipment thing. This shows you how much you have. This shows you the amount of resources that is being used. And personally, I just put this is essentially my loadout. A lot into fighters, a lot into tanks, and artillery, which is very important later on. Next is recruit and deploy, which don't worry about any of this. So here you go. Here's your division templates, which very complicated. Don't worry about any of this yet, and don't worry about this either. Just worry on this. So with Army XP, you can add stuff which increases their damage or HP or anything. Now, personally, I think the best loadout is this right here. This is literally the best loadout you can make. This is literally the best one. Yeah, make a lot of artillery, because these things get really expensive. And for Panzer Division, you're gonna want a lot more tanks than this. But yeah, so it's essentially what it looks like. Logistics just shows you how much guns you have, or things you have. Yeah. Okay. National, okay, I gotta show you the menu. So, this is your leader portrait. If you hover over them, you can see, like, their boosts they give you. This is your national, so I already explained that. National focuses are, well, here, watch. So first is Germany, you want to do Rhineland, and you get only 70s for this to finish. And when you start as Germany, Rhineland, you can't put troops there until you finish this. And then you just keep doing industry stuff and blah blah blah. Don't do this, please don't. Start with this and then go down this way. Yeah, so you just take 70 days and they do stuff for you. Like, if you do this focus, you get a lot of civilian factories. This way you get military. This way you get an extra research slot to research more stuff. Pretty cool. Over here is where you're gonna have to start conquering stuff, but you can't do yet because you need more troops in the field. Don't do any of this until 1939 because you will not be built up until 1939. This just shows you your faction, and you can dismantle it whenever you want. This shows you your ideology, which we're currently fascist. This shows you the popularity of the ideologies in your country. So 20% democratic, 20% communist, and most of the people, 60% of the people like fascism, which you can increase with these little political decisions, which you can do this. Occupied territories just shows you the territories that you currently own. This is just your garrison template. Don't put your most expensive ones on this. You're just gonna want to put it on the cheapest ones. Usually keep this civilian. Don't worry about any of this. And this is just the countries inside your country that, you know, are currently inside of you. Now, most of the time, they won't be harmful. But if they are harmful, they will break your stuff, and you won't get any manpower from them. So you can also release these places, but don't do that. Don't do it. Collaborations, you don't need to worry about this. And manage subjects, which is just managing your puppets. Laws and government. So this is what you do to increase your manpower. This is kind of complicated, but don't do free trade sometimes. Cause see, your country will generate resources, and sometimes in some countries don't generate resources, so you have to trade. But if you go like high to free trade, you lose all your resources. Well, you don't lose all, but you lose a whole bunch of resources, and you have to go buy more. But you get a bunch of buffs. I suggest sticking to the lowest. It really doesn't matter. Mobilization. Well, I mean, you're gonna want to go as down over here as possible. So this gives you buffs and decreases your consumer goods factories. Just go to war economy, but not total mobilization. Next is political advisors, which you know, they just give you boosts and stuff. And these are your designers, which also give you boosts, and you can get these designers for your type of things you're gonna do. Like if you want light tanks, get this. Heavy tanks, get this, medium, yeah, all that fun stuff. Same thing with Navy and this and that. Some of these also boost your research speed on some of these things, so yeah. And your theorist just decreases your your doctrine, your land doctrine costs, which costs army experience, which I think it's right here. So land doctrine is the doctrine your troops go by and your different types of tactics you're going to use. So mobile warfare is for using light tanks, you know, going really fast and encircling the enemy with your divisions. Superior firepower is using a lot of artillery and just killing everything. Grand battle plan is boring, so don't do this. And mass assault is just sending infinite waves of troops at the enemy. And yeah, same thing with naval and land. Bruh. Oh, I didn't show you this tab yet. Okay, so this is your WAD currently shows you what they do. But they also cost the command power, which also takes away from your max. Your current max is 200, but if I got this guy, it'd be 180. And these are just things that use army XP to get boosts. Like, for example, you can get maneuver warfare, division speed, blah blah blah, boosts. And back to the menu. Oh wait, we're done with the menu. Actually, we're done with a lot of things. So I didn't show you around the army part. You just select the division, you click it, or if you want to select multiple divisions, just do this, and you know, just click down here, and you're gonna want to assign a guy. And if you want to put your troops on a front line, you're just gonna click this. Boom! They're gonna go over here and they're gonna line up on this. So I'll explain to you all this. So exercising is just army exercising. It costs all your equipment, but you get army XP, but very slowly. Execute battle plans. Aggressive or carefulness is don't worry about that. It's just how aggressive or not aggressive your troops go when they execute a plan you made. Naval Invasion, which is just you click a bunch of troops, select a port, and you're gonna right click on an enemy green port, and then you're gonna wait a couple days, and then you should be able to naval invade, but you're gonna need naval security in that area. And this is, don't worry about this. Paratroop order is, well, exactly what it sounds like. I already did front line, don't worry about these up here. And here, offensive line. So this is what you're gonna do to attack, besides moving your troops manually. You're gonna take this line, you're just gonna right click or drag it across a country or any land, and this will show you your amount of divisions that are currently on this battle plan. And it's currently static, so your troops will still just stay over here on the line. When you click this button, the troops will begin to try to attack through here, but you have to be War Theater Nation, so it doesn't really count. Here's a spearhead, which is just your troops going like a line. It's just your troops going in a line, like that. Your fallback line is it's just like a front line, but you can put it anywhere. So your troops will go like right over here on this line. The area defense, your troops will just stay around in an area and defend it. In division assignment mode, which is just you click this button and it'll here, just watch. So if I wanted to assign this guy to this plan, but I also wanted another plan, right? Alright, I have this plan. Now there's two plans. So he's on, so our one guy that's in this army, oh by the way, you can put these in army groups, which just so yeah, if you don't want your troop to go that way, you could just control and then left click, boom, he's on this plan now, and not this one, but then you can just click back, and this is just a delete, yeah, okay. So, that's practically it. Well, I gotta explain your navy, patrol, it just, your ships go in an area. Strike force, it sounds like your ships are going to attack, but they're not. They're just going to stay in the port and wait for your patrol guys to spot a boat. And when they do spot a boat, also, if you're going strike force, you're going to want to put your guys on always engage and put them on low repair priority. But once they find somebody, they'll head over and they'll kill them. Convoy raid, which is just blowing up the enemy convoys. Convoy escort, which is protecting your convoys and not get blown up. Mine laying, which is exactly what it sounds like, and naval invasion support, which supports a bunch of naval invasions you want to do. Current explaining your air force, explaining some more map modes. This is terrain, which shows you the terrain. Terrain can affect the battle. Like if you're fighting in a bunch of mountains, please don't, because they will it'll be pain. Resistance, which shows if people are revolting. If it's pure white, that means nobody's revolting, and compliance means that how much people are not revolting. Which, if it's complete white, this means it's just your land. It's your core land. Resources, which shows you where and what countries make resources in those states. Like if I invade Poland, I can get not 13 of this steel, but I can get a good amount. Infrastructure, which just shows you the world's infrastructure. And factions map mode, which shows you which factions. Like so, Britain would be in the Allies, Germany would Axis, Soviet Comintern, and that's about it. Good day. Good day.